Hello, my friends. Welcome to this series about spiritual science. Today, we are beginning the second season. So, last year, we present 12 sessions or 12 chapters about the research and practice in this area so amazing, so profound, and so rich that is spirituality. Last year we present you an introduction because we have much more to share. So this year we are going deeper in our presentations and invite you to follow us in this amazing journey, the journey of our spirit. So on this episode we'll talk about the two spiritual paths. You know, there's more than one way to follow this journey we call spirituality. So, on this episode, we begin to share the possibilities we have to follow this journey. And basically, this chapter, this episode will be just an introduction for the entire year because the topics we'll present here we'll go deeper throughout the year. Now, the spiritual journey is a search for freedom. What does it mean? Well, we forget that we are multidimensional beings. And because we forget, we believe that we are a three-dimensional being living in four dimensions because the fourth dimension is the time. So, in the moment we begin this journey, we will little by little reconnect to our own multidimensional essence. And because we are trapped in these four dimensions, we lost the contact with our creator and we lost contact with our own soul too. And maybe most important, we have lost the idea. We forget about our own divine purpose. When I talk about divine purpose, we're talking about the three major questions for people who begin the spiritual journey. The questions is who am I, where I came from, and where I'm going. And the moment you have the answer for those three major questions, we reconnect to our divine purpose. But the spiritual journey, this journey searching for freedom, um, offers us two different paths. One of those paths is the path of devotion, and the other path is the path of knowledge. So, the path we call the path of knowledge is a journey based on the mental dimension. We present last season on the first chapter that we are manifested in seven different planes or seven different dimensions. And the moment we decide for the path of knowledge, we anchor our consciousness on the mental dimension to spread our consciousness to understand one by one all the seven uh, dimensions or all the seven planes. So, the path of knowledge is asking us to understand our constitution and the constitution of the entire universe because, nature and nature is everywhere. Nature is presenting the entire universe expressed in seven different planes. But when we decide for the path of devotion, it seems that we are looking for shortcuts because in the path of devotion we anchor our consciousness in the emotional plane or in the emotional dimension, and we try to skip some place. So we move our consciousness from the emotional dimension to the psychic dimension, and from the psychic dimension to the wisdom dimension, focusing to reach finally the divine. So it seems that this path is easier because you don't need to follow all the seven dimensions. But to reach this purpose, to skip dimensions is something really that asks us a lot of focus, a lot of dedication, a lot of our energy. So on this episode, I will share with you what is to follow the path of the knowledge. And on the next episode, I'll talk about the path of devotion. There are two different paths, two beautiful journeys, but they are totally different. To follow the path of the knowledge, it involves a lot of study and a lot of meditative practice. You know, the path of knowledge, we need two different elements. We need to collect information, to absorb information, and then we use the meditation to digest all this information, evaluate what is important for our journey and what we don't need. So it's like if you are walking, we are using those two elements are our two legs. The left leg is the study, looking for information, evaluate information, absorb information, and the right leg is meditation. So for a long walk, we need both legs. We need information and we need to meditate about this information. Of course, if you just want to go for to run for a short distance, we can keep jumping just one leg. But for a long walk, we need both. And the beginning of this search for information is information about ourselves. We need to know ourselves, who we are, in all different levels. In the old schools, we learned that how important is to know ourselves. So, the spiritual journey is a journey to know myself. The third element is to recognize that the entire universe is reflected in the microcosmos that we are. So it was explained in the past in a very simple way. As above, so below, and as below, so above. Number four, we need to understand the deep meaning of the word life and differentiate it from the expression manifestation of life. We have two different things. And in the moment we begin to understand both and the difference between um, both, we are really going deeper in our journey. We need to unveil the mysteries of nature to find a channel for a direct communication with our Creator. You know, here we can find the most important difference between spirituality and religion. Religion is telling us about the divine, is telling that divine exists, and invite us to worship the divine. And to communicate to the divine, we need a mediator. Usually, the mediator is a priest. In the spirituality, we know the existence of the divine, and we find the pathway to connect directly to our Creator. So we don't need mediators. We can find a way to reach our Creator and communicate directly. The sixth item is discover the purpose of life. And more important than the purpose of life, the divine plan. And finally, we have to promote the reunion of our spirit with our soul. We were created in the very beginning, spirit and soul. You can find more information about it on the chapter number 10 of the first season. So we are created as a unity, spirit and soul. But throughout our journey in the manifested expression, little by little, we disconnect for our souls. So the spiritual journey is a journey to reconnect to our own soul. So let in each one of those seven items. So the first one is to study and meditate. And an important approach is beginning to study or understanding the three great laws of the universe. The first law is unity, is the law of creator. The second law is number, is the law of the universe. And the third law is evolution, is the law of nature. So anchored on those three laws, we can really go deeper in a very secure way to understand the entire universe. It's very important to study the universal alphabet of numbers. They are an important key to unveil the mysteries of the universe. Another important thing is to discover the hierarchy of cosmic greatness. I'm talking about the movement, a cosmic movement, planets, galaxies, stars, because understanding this movement of the greatness we can observe in the sky, we can understand the cosmic harmony. And we need to dive in the inner universe using meditation as a tool. The second item is a journey to know myself. This journey was proposed for all the ancient schools. It's a master key for our journey in search of freedom. This journey is an intellectual journey, and at the same time, um, meditation is very important because information we have many, and sometimes there are contradiction in the information. So, in the moment you get information and you dive deep inside ourselves through using meditation and work the information in this meditative level, we'll find the importance of the information, and you'll know how to use this information. It's important to study the liberal sciences. They are fundamental for the intellectual search. What is the liberal science? This expression came from the Middle Age, but the liberal science was very known in the ancient times too. Um, According many sacred books, it was mentioned that the liberal science was recorded deep in the human heart. So, in the moment we reconnect and unveil all um, this knowledge, we can begin our journey to free ourselves. And the liberal science are grammar, logic, rhetoric, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. Some authors mention they are uh, arts, others call sciences, and others say they are the seven liberal sciences and arts. So back to the item number two. The meditative practice called inner journey helps to confirm and amplify the intellectual discoveries. So we begin to share this practice called the inner journey on the first season. So you can check on the episodes number 8 and 9, where I present this meditation and I propose a small practice. The third item of the path of knowledge is to recognize the entire universe is reflected in the microcosm that we are. Until the middle of the last century, science believed that the totality is made by many different parts. And so, to understand the totality of the universe, we need to study part by part. More recently, the paradigm changed completely because we are understanding that each part contains the totality. So if you go deeper in one part of the entire universe, you can understand the entire universe. And the most important part of this universe is ourselves. So if you go deep inside our microcosmos, you can understand the macrocosmos too. And to do this, some of the science mentions in the previous item, astronomy, arithmetic, and logic, when used together, they create something deeper called the sacred astrology. The sacred astrology is a very important tool for the path of knowledge. Invisible dimensions of reality are revealed, allowing us to understand the reflection of the universe that is anchored within us, the microcosmos. The fourth item in our journey, for our journey, is to understand the deep meaning of life, the word life, and the differentiation and differentiate it from the expression manifestation of life. So, what is life? One thing it's very important to know, life is endless. Life is related to eternity. So what we are living here in the manifested world is not life. We are living a life manifestation. And the life manifestation has a beginning and an end of this experience. But life itself never ends. So it's really important to understand the difference between life and life manifestation to go deeper in our journey. And so we'll be able to understand the cycles of incarnation. The fourth item of our journey, the knowledge path, is to unveil the mysteries of nature to find a channel for a direct communication with our Creator. So, in the very first chapter of our series, I mentioned the seven dimensions of nature, and I repeat it for many chapters on the first season because it's really a major key. We need to understand, we need to unveil the mysteries of nature so we can understand how and why we were created. And then in the moment we understand how we are created, we can begin a search for our individual creator. So, when religion mentioned that we all are created by God, as it's metaphorically, is not totally correct. In the moment we study creation, we will understand that the creator and the first generation created by the creator was um, the firstborn. They are nine firstborn, nine conscious energies that we can relate to the consciousness of numbers. I already mentioned it on the chapter number 5 and 6 from last season. And those nine amazing universal energies, they help the creation of the entire universe. So each one of us individually was created for one of those nine sources, those nine consciousness. So technically, we are not sons of God, but we are grandsons of God. So the moment we begin this search to know which energy, which consciousness that create ourselves individually, we are able to begin a journey to connect to this primordial energy. And through meditation, we can find this connection to our Father and Creator, and even beyond our Creator. The fifth element of this path is to discover the purpose of life and the divine plane. And one more time, astrology, numerology, and the wisdom of Kabbalah are important keys to unveil our essence. And through meditation, we can anchor this understanding and find first our life purpose. You know, the purpose, why we are here on this very moment, why we are here on this incarnation. But the divine plane includes all life purpose we lived and we will live in the future. So the entire journey, incarnation after incarnation, are clearly presented when you reach the divine plane. And we will realize that there's a very important universal consciousness that can guide us in this journey. This consciousness is called the divine presence. And finally, the last and maybe the most important item is to promote a reunion of our spirit with our soul. We, as consciousness, we are our spirit, but we are created with our soul. We both together are a unity. We call, I call, I am in the moment. I really is integrating spirit and soul. But since we begin to manifest completely in this dense level, we disconnect to our soul. So we feel this emptiness inside. We many times cannot explain what is missing. And this emptiness is because you are missing the connection, the contact to your soul. Our journey back to eternity, because eternity is our destiny, only can be fulfilled when we are consciously reconnect to our soul. So we need to unveil first the mystery of the mysteries. The mystery of the mysteries is to understand, to know everything about our soul. It will help us to overcome the infinite, the impossible distance, because we can, when we are together, also go beyond the infinite, because beyond the infinite we can find eternity. So this is a beautiful journey, unveiling all these mysteries. And it's not only rhetorically, we can live it. The path of knowledge will get information, you'll get the ways how to live this journey step by step. So this is the beauty of the spiritual journey. And this is the foundations of the path we call the path of knowledge. On the next episode, I'll tell you about the other path, the path of devotion. So thank you for following me. And if you like this video, don't forget to give a like. And if you're interested in the previous episodes, you can subscribe this channel. You can find in YouTube the channel just writing my name, Carlos Gutierrez, and you'll find available all the chapters, all the episodes of the first season, and you'll be informed about the future um, episodes. Thank you so much, and see you on the next video. Bye.